good. We're good. Everybody can hear us though. And here we are with a lovely phone noise coming in. This is our E3 roundup, and I am Ultra Fud to Fud, and we are joined today by
Hybrid Steel
and
Skip to the end.
Skip to the end. Fantastic. So E3 was fun. It had lots of good points and a couple of bad points, and some weird
which we'll come to very shortly.
Some very odd Devolver stuff as per normal. Basically it's a sort of normal thing, but we're going to start at the start, which is obviously where you should always start, and we're going to simply start with EA.
We're going to start right at the bottom, are we?
Yeah, at the bottom of the list, and a couple of us have been writing, and Sandra's got lots of information from it anyway, so here we go. Now, EA kicked off their big announcements with Battlefield, right, as they would. And what are we thinking of Battlefield? Because obviously their main points are there's no loot boxes, there's no pass, there's a battle royale mode which I have no one's going to play.
Well, as a Battlefield fan, I was actually quite excited to see it going into its almost roots of World War II again, which was really nice to see.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit not 100% sure how Battle Royale is going to work with Battlefield, and to be fair, it's pretty much a wasted idea on a first-person shooter like Battlefield. The being able to move like turrets and stuff around the map to get a more advantage is a really, really good idea.
That's a good idea, I agree.
I enjoyed the fact that you can now hitch a turret to your truck, drive it down the road, and put it into a better place where you can actually start making a fortification, like, you know, putting sandbags up and stuff, just so you've got a bit more cover instead of trying to hide behind a tree or something. Graphics looked amazing. I know people have got pissed off with the fact that there's a female lead character on the cover, and that's just the way the gaming industry is at the moment. So, you know, apart from that, I actually like the look of it, and I will be buying it when it does release.
That's great. So what are your views on it, Sanj?
I'm kind of on the fence with it. I think visually it does look nice. I don't really see it doing anything different to what it's done before. I would have liked to have seen another Bad Company game personally.
A lot of people are the same. They're all saying Bad Company would have been a much better idea, or even a remake of Bad Company 2. But the thing is, I don't mind them enhancing on what they already have idea-wise from Battlefield 1 to what Battlefield 5 is going to be. But at the same time, I kind of feel that if we had a Bad Company, it's almost like a no-brainer. They would make a lot of money from doing it, and it's just maybe a missed opportunity. Maybe they're saying for the next one, but I reckon as well that it'll be a good game regardless. But it's not Bad Company. And then
I'm personally not that bothered about the whole sort of female character, protagonist, whatever.
Yeah,
as long as the game's like fun, doesn't contain like any loot boxes or any of that shit, then great.
The thing is, it keeps everybody happy. I think that's another thing.
It doesn't have to be historically accurate as long as it's fun.
The whole progression thing as well, with them doing like the live events, like, you know, a weekly event or a monthly event, that sort of thing, and they're basically going to be sort of giving away unique stuff during those events is pretty cool. Now, the only way that I was thinking that they could monetize Battlefield would be to basically go, well, if you want that leather jacket, you can either play it for a couple of hours and earn some stuff, or you can buy it for a couple of quid. And I think that's literally how they're going to try and make money.
This is what certain other games are doing, but we'll get to those later. And then they announced their usual kind of rubbish, like FIFA 19. It's going to have...
I basically just went down sports. I was like,
sports. I'll go through all them quickly then. There's FIFA UEFA Edition, which basically brings UEFA Mode to FIFA 19. And then you've got NBA 19, Madden 19, and I was just like, don't really give a shit. Because let's be honest, I don't...
That whole thing with like the kids.
Just quickly, can I make a suggestion for your Fallout Shelter quickly, Alex?
No.
Well, because it would help you.
Oh, go on, be quick.
Right, put all your people in different power plants into one big power plant, so they're all working together to make more room. And it's the same with the water people. Put them all into one room, so they're actually sort of all working together instead of all separately. Done. Carry on.
Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah, basically, they talked about this. The theme. You were talking about the theme. Sorry.
I was saying like the running theme with like EA's press conferences was like a lot of like cringy ass people on stage.
Oh yeah.
And that whole thing with the fucking kid like constantly losing at Madden or whatever, and like not shaking people's hands. Like, yeah, that's a good representation of the game, isn't it?
That just shows people like to rage a lot, I think.
I love that they were on stage like talking about money and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, you're in the right place for that. You're in the right conference.
And then they talked about this really horrible thing that's only currently available for PCs, and I hope it doesn't even touch
Origin
console.
Access.
Yes, is the EA subscription of Origin Access, which basically a couple of years back they were talking about making their own console, but in the end they've come up with this new idea where, well, I say new idea, this has been around for a little while now, where you pay a subscription straight to EA and you can play whatever EA game you like. Now, that may appeal to some people, but to me, that just screams
There's
out...
not enough EA titles for me to play.
Well, well, yeah, and that, but also they're obviously panicking because obviously not making money from all the games they want to make money from, but they're trying to cram it out of you some other way, and I think that's the way they're now trying to do it because they got such a bugger in last time. So maybe that
could be unfortunately one of the ways that gaming goes as well, where you pay subscription services to the games companies you want to play.
The thing is, I don't mind paying for a subscription, but as long as it's for everything, not just one thing, that would be. It's kind of silly to me. It's a really sad state of affairs. And then they announced a big update for Battlefront 2. Now, I personally, I don't. Yeah, I think it's a bit late. It's a good move, but I still think that it's just too late for it. I mean, it's nice to have the Clone Wars back. Yeah, it's nice to have the Clone Wars back, but I just think it's too late for that kind of stuff.
I like the fact that basically as soon as it came out, they basically said, we're really sorry. It's like, no, you're not. Right? You were trying something different and it didn't work. You failed. No need to be sorry. Just admit you were wrong. Done.
I wanted to pitch that EA's press conference should just be called Sorry the Musical.
Well, yeah, just have Nick Cage's Sorry song on there.
The way I had it in my head, you know that section out of South Park when the BP bloke is like, we're sorry. We're sorry. Yeah. That was the thing that was in my head the whole time.
And now, one thing I wanted to talk about is like one of the most underwhelming announcements ever. Was the Star Wars game,
the Fallen Order.
Where it's just like, we'll
make it again.
One of the guys at Respawn was just randomly in the crowd. It's just like, oh yeah, it's coming 2019.
No, I tell you what made me laugh about that whole little segment they did about that was the woman turned around and said, because the guy goes, well, you can be a Jedi, and she turned and said, does that mean I can use a lightsaber? And he was like,
oh,
well, yeah.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, I was like, one, you should be interviewing that bloke, and two, what the fuck? You don't even know Jedi use lightsabers? I was like, what's wrong with you?
I actually felt sorry for that female host up until that point. And then I was like, 36 gone.
And then they announced
the one note that I did make about EA's whole presentation and the whole Battlefront thing was that they kept saying it was a rough start. We had issues. We had this and that.
Yeah,
my notes underneath this was just rough start my arse. It was just fucking plagued with issues. Basically.
I just remember saying when he said that, he said we've had a rough start. I went, yeah, that's a bit of an understatement.
So
and then there was.
The two bright points of the whole conference for me were like the Origin, not the Origin.
Origin Access, and do you like that, do you?
No, that's the EA Originals with
the Sea of Solitude
and Sea of Solitude. Yeah.
You see, I can look at those two games and say they're great games so far. Because obviously I played Unraveled 1 anyway. Great game. Unraveled 2 looks just as good, if not slightly better. The fact it's now 2-player. But what appealed to me and what made me excited actually for the future of EA, even if EA are a bunch of money grabbing arseholes, is that they gave the guys who made A Way Out a studio and more manpower, which is great because they only predicted 9,000 copies would sell of that game, and they sold 890,000 copies of that game.
Oh, okay.
So they hugely underestimated what this game was going to do. And
the thing is, I mean, if you're a small studio working on a project, and you're like, if we hit a couple of hundred copies, we're all good. But if it excels more than you were expecting, it's like we did something right here.
Oh,
this is where we should be aiming for when it comes to games. Not, I've got an idea, guys. We're going to make a game. We're going to aim for 1 million copies, and if it doesn't sell, we're going to blast the crap out of it with microtransactions.
It blew up basically. This game is become one of the best cooperative games of all time.
Of the games I played this year, that's been one of the best so far.
I couldn't agree more. It is an amazing game. I've been lucky enough to play it for free because my little brother bought the game, and all I had to do was download the free trial, and that allowed me to play the whole game, which was brilliant. Yeah, it's very nice, and I really enjoyed doing that.
Now let's talk about your favourite part of the conference.
My favourite part?
Yeah,
we missed one point. We missed NBA Live 19. What an amazing announcement! That was absolutely crap.
No, what I put here is an actual mobile game presentation.
No, yes. I don't really want to discuss this, but we're going to.
Command and Conquer.
Okay, so I'm a really big Command and Conquer fan, right? I love my Command and Conquer games, and I only ever missed out on one, which was Command and Conquer Generals, which apparently wasn't that great. But this is what's pissed me off. Now, I haven't played a decent Command and Conquer game since Red Alert 2 or even Tiberian Wars at a stretch. But when they announced Command and Conquer was coming out on the EA conference, I was like, yay, Command and Conquer! And then it said, mobile.
No,
and your heart sunk.
A competitive mobile.
Oh, sorry, a competitive mobile game. And I was just like, oh fuck. And then they brought out these two guys on stage to play a live match of it. Yeah, and it was just diabolically shit. I'm so pissed off.
The problem with these, I know this is something that's basically covered in every single part of an EA conference, but the problem with these two gamers coming out to show you how it works, it was all fucking scripted. It was all videoed, because that's why the commentator knew what was going on. Oh, he's going to be doing this, and he did. It's like, well, congratulations, you've just proved to the world that you're not playing the game live. You're basically playing a fucking video. Press play, done. You don't even need the two gamers up there.
And then we've got a game that I'm actually excited about and have been excited about for the last couple of years.
Before we discuss that, there is one more thing I should add. Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, did what I like to call corporate guilting, and saying that people have a choice of what they should buy or not.
Yeah.
And we've donated to several different charities.
We're sorry.
Literally just after talking about Lucas, I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Didn't even care about
Nobody didn't care. So then it comes to Anthem. Now, despite what a lot of people are going to say, I actually am looking forward to it because I've been watching the progression of this game for a long time. It's BioWare. We can expect a decent story. But of course there is also a stigma attached to it that it is basically trying to be Destiny or better than Destiny. But I don't think we should compare it to Destiny at all and compare it to its own type of game, because as we all know, Destiny doesn't really have a story. So I think we should try and...
It has a loose story, that's the problem with Destiny.
6 lines of dialogue, yeah I suppose that's loose enough for you.
Pretty much. But that was 6 lines of dialogue for your main character, but your character doesn't have to talk to have a story. We've proved this in years ago.
Hopefully this game's lore won't be tied to cards that you have to log on to a certain website to figure out.
Well, no, it's all proper storyline. That's the whole point of it. I'm looking forward to it. It looks lovely. It still looks really scripted.
Is that this is the game that effectively Mass Effect had to die for in order to happen. So
yeah, but this is also effectively BioWare's last attempt at a game.
What we're saying, Alex, is that In order for them to make a game that's going to basically try and resurrect their studio before the ultimate pit of oblivion, which is what this might actually end up being. This might be BioWare's last game ever because of the reaction of the crowd.
It's not the reaction of the crowd.
This game is all it is, because if the crowd look at this and go, well, I may as well not buy this because I've already got Destiny, they're already assuming that that's what the game's going to be like.
I've been watching the Destiny community pages, and they're already like fucked off that Anthem's even being made, because all like no, in a good way. They're like, this is going to kill our fucking game. We don't want this fucking shit coming. Blah 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 blah. And I think it's a good thing. But and the only problem is Microsoft, EA have set them a date to get this game finished by, and the only problem is that is applying pressure to BioWare to effectively rush it. And the only problem is if they fuck it up, and I've read all the fucking stupid writing about it on the internet. If they mess it up, this could well be the end of BioWare, and they'll just be absorbed into the EA shit.
They've been making this game for 5 years.
Yeah, near enough.
Yeah, so why isn't it finished?
Because
the only couple of
some
games
games
that have ever
take
made
longer than that.
But the only couple of games that have ever been like this long are things like Duke Nukem, which was an abomination after 10 years of development.
Alan Wake, by any chance?
Yeah, years. Yeah, but then Kingdom Hearts 3 has been going over time. But something like Duke Nukem, which was made over 10 years, failed.
Yeah, but that's Duke Nukem.
This game, basically, the only reason why they had to wait so long is because the guy that was looking to create it went to Xbox for a bit, worked on Xbox, and then came back to BioWare.
Well, the writer of the story actually finished the whole story as well, then left, and then he didn't need to be there, and people were shitting themselves about it.
Let's continue on, because we've got a lot to cover here.
Could moan about it all day if you want to.
On to Microsoft now.
Now, Microsoft was quite interesting.
Yes,
but I think they rented out a lot of their space for multiple title games.
And this is where a lot of people have gone, oh my god, Xbox's performance was so amazing. It was the best at the conference. In fairness, it was one of the best at the conference. Yes. But the reason why it was one of the best at the conference is because it wasn't all Microsoft exclusive games. It was everything for every platform. It wasn't just their console. And I think that's what a lot of people are sort of misled about. It's like, yes, it was an amazing console, but it was everything.
Approach their conference with a grain of salt, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the thing is, you can guarantee certain IPs like Halo and Gears of War, but when you start showing things like The Division, and that was on Ubisoft, but when you start showing the other games that are multi-platform, it's just like saying we don't have anything of our own, we have to borrow from everyone else. And that, to me, says that they're just, like, selling out. It's like they're selling themselves short.
I mean, it all started off with Halo 6. And Halo 6, yes, okay, it's the Return of Master Chief, and it does look pretty. I've got to be honest. They've spent a while doing it, and I hope it doesn't disappoint the fans. But then other titles went along the lines of, like, Sekiro, Shadow Die Twice, Metro Exodus, Kingdom Hearts, which is being released on every console, Battlefield, which is being released on every console, We Happy Few, which I have no idea where that's gone.
Yeah, that's kind of a question mark, but yeah. So they started with Halo Infinite trailer, which is another Halo.
Essentially,
much to say at the moment. And then they had Ori and the Will of the Wisps, or Will of the Wisps. Which is a sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, which is one of the few Xbox One exclusives worth owning, I feel. Games like Cuphead. Yeah. But yeah, if it's anything like the first, then be another exclusive worth getting for it.
So despite Microsoft being really flashy and fun, because obviously multi-platform games and their own couple of IPs they had, I think their conference was good, but I don't think it was anything terribly special when you take it apart and look at it for what it actually was.
I thought it was the best conference this year, but as said, it didn't have necessarily the best exclusives of the show this year.
And then
hold on, we'll run through. We had a side-scrolling platform called Ori, which looked nice and pretty. It was a nice 3D game. Sekiro.
Shadows Die Twice, which looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. I actually thought that the Ghost of what is it, Tsushima or something, was actually that game again. Tsushima, that one. And then they did the world premiere of Fallout 6, which was Fallout 76, sorry, which was featured elsewhere.
We'll get to that one, Professor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, which is going to be multi-platform.
Life is Strange prequel, I'm guessing, to season 2.
Something like that.
And then we had Crackdown 3, which is going to be released in February 2019, apparently.
Featuring Terry Crews.
Yeah, right.
Featuring Terry Crews quite heavily.
This next one, Nier Automata Become as Gods edition. This is the first time it's going to be on an Xbox One because it's been exclusive to PS4.
To Sony for a very long time.
If you are watching and you've never heard of this game and you're an Xbox One owner,
you need to check it out.
You to buy this. It is one of the best games that I've ever played. Definitely the best game of last year to me. So yeah, definitely check it out.
All right, then. I think we should head on
the
to
list is
Bethesda.
Metro Exodus 2000. Oh no, there's loads of games we need to go
through. We're going through.
Right, so Metro Exodus, which comes out in January 2019. That's absolutely amazing. Looks it. The Kingdom Hearts Let It Go Frozen
Hang on. Just remember, Metro is also multi-platformed.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but this is the thing. This is what I mean. If I'd have said it was an Xbox exclusive, I would have written that down. But a lot of these weren't.
No.
When a game is exclusive, I'll just go exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. So
you make a point of
it. Then it was the presentation where it was the rolling trailer of Kingdom Hearts, which I'm going to be completely honest. By the end of the conference, I was bored to shit of listening to the same fucking dialogue. It was boring.
It is really cringy, and the story is like can get that way, and it's just a little bit too over dramatic and too like stop please. But the games itself are actually quite good. Especially
they're well scripted, they're well everything. It's just unfortunately using the same trailer 4 times in every sort of conference.
They actually use a different trailer. They use the same trailer in Microsoft and Square, but they use a different one for Sony's conference, I believe.
Okay. This one, Sanch, you can do your Xbox
exclusive. Yeah.
Sea of Thieves DLC.
In brackets, nobody cares.
Yep, nobody gives a shit. Only 91 million people have played. 91 million played hours of the game. No one gives a shit.
I actually have a friend who's done everything you can possibly do in Sea of Things and has gone, and then hasn't played it since because he's waiting for the DLC, and I'm sure he'll finish that in a couple of days, and he'll be again, and he probably won't play it again.
and then Battlefield 5, which we've already talked about.
Yeah, Forza 4.
And then exclusive.
Forza 4 as it looks
amazing.
As a driving fan, I sat there and just went, I wish this was on Xbox. Not Xbox, on PS4, because it looked amazing. The graphics were brilliant. It's a slightly arcadier feel than Gran Turismo sort of thing, but it looks good. The customization of the cars is amazing. I enjoyed Forza when I used to play it on Xbox 360.
Oh yeah.
So if they're still continuing with that same way of playing the game and making the game, fair play to them. It's such a good game.
Yeah, it's really good.
They did a really good job with that, yeah.
Also, just to let everyone know who's watching, you can comment as well if you have your own views. Please do if you can.
Yeah. Before we Happy Few, Microsoft's announced 5 new companies to work for. Although 3 of them I thought that already were exclusive to Microsoft, but okay. Yeah. There's a new one called the Initiative. Not a lot's known about it. Just a new team put together. Undead Labs, who worked on State of Decay and State of Decay 2.
Yep.
Playground Games, who work on the previously mentioned Forza Horizon 4.
Yep.
Ninja Theory, which surprised me because they had Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which was initially a PS4 exclusive, and they sort of brought it over to Xbox One recently, and now
they threw them enough money to sort of push them over.
I mean, Am I a little disappointed? Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's a major loss, considering they also did the DMC reboot. But that's in a whole.
It's not. It's not the biggest letdown of all time.
No, and seeing as we're just going to talk about the next game, Compulsion Games, who works on or working on We Happy Few.
Yeah, this makes me think that now it's actually now an exclusive to Xbox because it has literally disappeared off the PlayStation dashboards altogether.
It could maybe be like Minecraft, where they release like a PS4 version, but then that's all they're getting.
Yeah,
maybe. My only thing is, I think the game's changed too much. I don't think it's going to do well at all. I think it is going to flop. That's just my view.
I was interested in it at first because I thought it was going to be like another Bioshock, but then I found out it was a survival game. I was just like,
yeah.
And then the next point is PUBG new map, and no one cares.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting pissed off
one-
at PUBG.
The next one interests me. This is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. This is actually the PS3 version that was only released in Japan. It was released on 360 over here, but that wasn't the Definitive Edition. Now it's coming to both Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely. I would say it's one of the better Tales games that definitely interests me.
Okay. And what's next on the?
Next one after that is a world premiere, Division 2.
Yeah,
We'll talk more about it.
that was an Ubisoft's conference. I might just wait until then.
After that, they did the Game Pass speech where you can now play loads of different things, and it's got now like a new bit of fast tech in it, which makes the games load faster straight off your Xbox's stream service and all that crap. And then it was Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Now this is one. What we were talking about Anthem, about Bioware potentially shutting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a fear that with Shadow of the Tomb Raider for Crystal Dynamics, like the original Tomb Raider reboot, Square Enix have thrown a lot of advertising money at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Development, add that to the development costs. It's they're going to have to really sort of
Shake it up.
sell this big time.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, I fear this could be another company that shuts its doors, and I really don't want that to happen because Crystal Dynamics have made stuff like the Soul Weaver games and like Gex, and obviously the Tomb Raider games more recently. And, I just hope that Square Enix haven't gone like too overboard with the advertising that they'll end up killing them off.
I mean, it does look like a really polished game. They have put a lot of effort into it, but have they put so much effort into it to try and revamp the series, or are they just doing it and
they might be trying to basically live off of the first one's popularity, because the newest remake was good. It was good.
Yeah.
But I feel that, like Sanchez said,
I think they have to go with the darker story in order to like gauge more interest. It's a risk, but I think it's one worth.
But I still think, from what you said, like they splash out too much on the advertising and marketing itself. If it doesn't get a good return, then you're right. I think you could be seeing the end of Crystal Dynamics, which is a real shame. Because I mean,
it's another great company just.
Thrown into the curve, basically.
And the worst part is, I don't think we've seen the last of it either. Like the last of the fact that all these companies that we grew up with being kicked to the curb on the basis of a developer saying, "Look, get this done. It has to be this standard, otherwise you're done." And I think it's a bit shitty, really, because you're starting to run out of legendary developers, producers.
Well, they all get shipped around and put into different companies, so we might lose the names, but the people who were making the games are still technically there. That's what I'm sort of taking from it. Yeah, I mean, it might just be where the studio started to not have an original idea, so now that studio needs to be folded into another studio to basically work on a different work ethic, maybe.
Right, so next was the game we thought was Skate 4, but wasn't Skate 4.
I'm basically, as a person who is obsessed with Skate 4, I've been sitting there wondering when it was going to come for years. EA have been sort of hinting at the fact that
teasing.
Skate 4 maybe it's been teasing, and especially when they had they've had one of the actual people who were doing the photography and everything else in Skate 3, who was actually featured in the game, is now working on headshot cameras at E3. He posted it on his own, Atapa Jackson, I think his name is, and he basically posted that he was working with this 3D rig at EA Studios again. Now, he is only associated with skateboarding, it's no other sport at all. And it basically makes me think that maybe EA is starting to do this. PlayStation France posted up a picture of a person on a skateboard at Venice Beach with the PlayStation logo photoshopped to the bottom of the board. And all this sort of thing, you're sitting there going, there must be a Skatefall being developed. And there have been rumours that it may be now being shown that Session is the game that everybody thought Skatefall was going to be.
Yeah.
And that, when you saw the skateboarding rolling past, it was like, oh my god, finally! And then it just came up with Session. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It had the same sort of level of physics of like a skateboard.
Yeah.
It looks alright, I guess. I don't know how.
A lot of people that obviously it's been released on PC before. People have actually played this game, and they basically said that the controls on a pad are a little bit sort of hard to get used to because obviously people are more keyboard warriors on PCs. But when it comes to the controls, it is set up for a console as well. And that's why they're bringing it over to Xbox. But when they say it's exclusive, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be a timed exclusive or it's just staying on the Microsoft format.
Next we had... I've got a game here called Black Desert. I remember nothing about this, to be honest.
Black Desert was rumoured to be a free game coming to every single platform. PlayStation, Xbox, Microsoft, and all the other stuff on them. But... Microsoft basically bought the rights to it, shoved it onto the PC and Xbox One, and then started to charge for it because they said it was going to be free as well.
Like PUBG.
Which I wouldn't play it because
the thing was,
if it's probably not going to be worth my time.
It was meant to be a freebie title in the first place, but the only snag that's happened is that obviously Microsoft now own it. But what was meant to happen was it was meant to be released free on every console. But there was lots of microtransactions in the game. No loot boxes, nothing. Like mainly customization kind of pieces, but they would charge you through the arse for it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was acceptable. I didn't mind that, but the only snag is obviously now with this whole, the fact they own the rights to it and everything, they've now put a nice healthy price tag on it, and they sort of fucked themselves over a bit with it, I think.
Just a little bit, yes.
Now we get to like one of the games that I'm really hyped for, and that is Devil May Cry 5.
Now, for me, it's not a thing I'm going to buy, but I haven't got anything negative to say about it. So
the reason that gives me hope that it's going to be great again is because it's directed by the same director who made Devil May Cry 3.
Okay.
So I know that it's going to play very good. Visually, it's not DMC, but it's not quite the sort of Devil May Cry that I remember.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
No, but you play as Nero again, who looks slightly different, obviously from 4. You had like Dante show up at the end on a motorcycle. I'm hoping it's not like some kind of pre-order bonus or some shit like that. I'm hoping he's going to be sort of part of the game at some point.
Well, from what I'm aware, he is actually in the game solid, so he is there.
It's weird, because initially when I saw the trailer, I thought it was going to be like Resi 2, or like some kind of new Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
But then like the van showed, I thought it was DMC5, I was like, okay. And as I saw more of it, I was like, oh, okay, I'm on board with this now.
You're like, I get you. I understand what you're doing. Yeah, I suppose it's a good idea to actually make another one, because it has been a while, to be fair.
And they've got like the old team on board, which is, I'll take that over Ninja Theory. Next we had the Cuphead DLC.
Miss Chalice, the new character, and lots of new features that the game is producing, which is all good.
That's cool.
Yep, and then there was an exclusive to Tunic.
Tunic, which was like, I guess I could say it's mostly like a game called Oceanhorn.
Yeah.
But with a different sort of visual style, obviously.
I sat there and just went, it looks like a mobile game. that was just my take on it.
I guess.
It's an RPG style game, and your main character's a
It's
fox.
very sort of classic Zelda.
Yeah.
Fox.
And then after that, the world premiere.
Of
Jump Force.
Force.
I mean, that's all you, Alex. I have nothing to say on this.
I personally didn't see it, so
Oh,
Okay, Jump Force is basically taking all the anime sort of
J-Star
fighters
games.
from, like J-Star games, right? So you've got Goku, and you've got the lead character from One Piece, and you've got fucking... just basically, they're all there, and it's a fighting game.
apparently
it.
Crypto Cruzy says one of these voices offends me, and one I don't know.
So I'm probably the one that it offends him.
I'm
'cause me and
sorry.
him... and Crypto Cruising. The other person in this party is called Skip the End. He's one of our friends, has been for a very long time. So. Afterwards was the exclusive Battletoads.
Oh well,
Oh no, I've missed one. Sorry, Dying
no,
Light 2.
sorry. We'll talk about Battletoads first. Not a lot was shown of it. It's got like a new animated style by the looks of things.
Yeah,
It could be decent. But we
we'll
didn't
see.
really see any footage, so we don't know.
yeah.
And Dying Light
and
2.
then it was Dying Light 2.
The one that wigs like, well, one of the games that wigs like fangirls.
Wiggs made a funny noise. Apparently, he went oh, and that was like
Yeah.
essentially that was it, something like that.
It's weird because at first I didn't know what the game was. I was thinking like, because it looked very Dishonored to me.
Yeah,
But then I saw like the parkour. I was like, hang on, wait, I've seen this before. I can't put my finger on it. And
when
they
it
said
comes
that, I was
up,
like,
Dying
"Oh,
Light.
yeah."
Yeah, because he was sitting there going, I don't know. I've seen this
No,
before. I've seen this
why
before.
is
And
it?
it just
Why
sort
is
of
it?
melted.
Word so effect.
yeah,
I would say
Dying
he
Light
probably
2.
may have made a whoopsie, but
That's, that's a game I'd be interested in.
well,
yeah,
I mean, it's
definitely.
amazing the success of the first one, really, because it started off, in my opinion, it had a bit of a rough start, and then it's just
One
gotten
hell of a shitty
really,
ending.
yeah, but it's gotten better over time, and it's still got a massive player base on PC as well as console. So, Yeah.
It's got a lot of. The problem is, it's taken a long time to get to where it is. I mean,
Yeah.
with the extra DLC and stuff, it didn't come out all at once. They sort of tried to pace it. The problem with pacing it over a long period of time, like they did, people couldn't be bothered
Well,
to keep playing the game.
that was
And
like-
they were obviously still waiting for DLC.
that's no different to Borderlands 2 when it did it. Do you remember? Like, it was
yeah.
pacing that DLC, and then by the end of it, it was just like I didn't play the last two DLCs because it just took
No,
too long to
yeah.
come out.
Yeah. Next then
Just
is
Cause
the world premiere. Just Cause 4.
Nah.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested.
More destruction,
I didn't really care
better
for Just
graphics. Comes out in December.
Third one was
It's
funny
one-
for a
it's
little
one
bit.
of those
and then-
games where it's a great game if your like imagination runs wild.
Yeah.
You're looking for a
It-
good story. This game's not for you.
It's definitely one of those games for people who are just going to go out of the box and think, I've got an idea. I'm just going to try all of this and see what happens.
Yeah,
When does the new Fallout game come out? I believe
November
it's
16th.
November, yeah.
well,
That's
we're
that one.
almost at the conference. Don't worry.
Right. So the next one was a world
This one
premiere
was
of
fascinating.
Gears of Pop.
Here's Pop, which I need to see footage of this to see
I
what it is, 'cause
love the look of it.
it looks adorable.
It does. What I liked was the fact that the Gears of War logo came up and it was like, oh my god, and then it came up with a Pop figure. I was like, yes, false hope.
It gives you like the sort of Plants vs Zombies vibe, which is
Yeah.
like it's cute, but it's
It's not meant
It's gonna-
to
it's gonna
be,
an
but it
inter-
is.
It's going to be an interesting game, and I think it's going to be a mobile game. That's the thing. I don't think it's going to be just Xbox, which is interesting.
yeah.
So it may be a mobile game. It may be, or it's going to be for all platforms because it wasn't an exclusive to Microsoft. So that's a good thing. And then they showed off Gears
Gears
Tactics.
It's
Which,
basically-
which
Yeah,
if I
XCOM.
had an Xbox, I'd fucking love it.
Yeah. Oh, we know you would love it. Yeah.
'Cause it's basically it's basically XCOM with Gears of War characters, which is not a bad thing.
You see,
but-
my problem is there's not
XCOM
enough
is-
RTS or any kind of strategy on the PS4. XCOM 2 is a great game, but what do I play now? It's,
You can play the RTS game that's always on sale.
well, sounds right. I do want to get that at some point.
And then we had Gears of War 5.
I'm after a new game, but bored, or it's.
I bought PUBG
Oh,
last
I
night,
yeah.
but
Release was the
realised
same as Fortnite. Waste my money. Yeah, well, it's kind of the same.
You should listen to me more often.
Right. Then they talked
Research.
about what was it, console quality games on any streaming device.
Yes,
Okay.
which
Fair
is
enough.
Microsoft's one big thing they were trying to do. We are going to provide more quality. We're going to be doing this, that, and the other. Well, actually, that's sort of happening everywhere, so it doesn't really matter. It's all good.
Yeah.
And then the
And
last
then,
one, this
sadly,
small game, it was a world premiere, but I
Yeah,
don't
never
really
heard
know
of it.
much about it. It's called Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh my god.
Which looks fucking amazing.
Which, if you're interested, next week, I'm actually doing a video with another friend of mine called Evil Pingu, and he can go into a lot of depth about the game, the manga, and what the whole story is all about, because he's played the roleplay game as well. So there's a lot more to Cyberpunk than what we all might have thought there is.
Yeah, well, the basic premise of Cyberpunk, because if you watch the extra bits of the conference, it's a first-person shooter. But there is a lot of stuff in it that's going to be towards the more tabletop games. They're going to be incorporating a lot of their systems into this game as well, which is going to have that sort of geeky feel, which I'm going to actually, I'd probably will enjoy it.
It's also a massive role-playing game outside of the console. It's like literally
yes.
like a modern Dungeons and Dragons type thing.
Yeah,
And
so what I'm
it's
hoping is that
fucking
that's
mental.
what the game's going to be like.
Yeah,
Because if the game is anything like that, it's going to be a very solid first-person game with a lot of depth to it.
Pingu meant he touched upon the fact there's like loads of different factions and things. Certain ones who don't mind the cybernetic implants, and you got ones who do mind them, obviously, like the purists type thing. And it's all about, because apparently you can change your like skill slots in the back of your head, but as you do this, you become less human. So
Yeah.
this is where like the whole sort of morale system will come into what would you rather be, and so there's going to be a lot of detail about this next week. I'm going to be holding like a
I mean,
big talk about it.
long story short,
I'm interested to hear what he's got to say about it, because it's a game that's very registered on my radar.
Yeah,
So
I mean-
I want to know more about it.
long story short, Cyberpunk 2077, it's going to be awesome. We don't know when it's going to come out, but when it does, it's going to be.
and
one of the
not
best games
to
of-
mention it's made by CD Projekt Red. So
Well, yeah, that's the point.
you know, when because they made Witcher 3, you can just see what's going to happen with that.
My one, I mean, if I had like one slight concern, is that this game is going to be in first person, not third person. And that's
You know, I
something
said the
CD
same
Projekt
thing
Red-
to
It's gonna be-
Pingu. He said
It's going to be like Deus Ex.
He said the only thing is,
Yeah.
he said a lot of the whole cyberpunk thing is about customization. And he said, so what's the point in customizing when you can't see your character? And I said maybe it'll be a bit like Elder Scrolls or Fallout, where you hold a button in and you can view your
You
character.
can go into third-person mode.
Yeah, and have a quick look, so to speak.
Maybe.
I think that would be a good idea if they did do that, because you can see your character.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah.
so the next major topic starts off with Andrew WK coming out and rinsing the crowd's eardrums with "You Better Get Ready to Die," featuring Rage 2, which absolutely blew my mind.
Well, I do you know what? Rage.
I don't think it blew my mind exactly. It was all right, I guess.
I think it's a lot of hype. Myself.
Oh yeah, there's loads of hype behind it, but I think as a person who plays first-person shooter games, this one just looks like one of those over-the-top adventures that's just going to go. You're just going to have fun playing it. You know?
I will say with that trailer, there was like the first half I didn't really give a shit at all.
Yep.
Then when they started introducing powers, I was like, okay, you got my interest a little bit. Let's see where you go with
But if
that.
it's too much like Rage 1, people aren't going to care anyway.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
So
is,
we've
even
done
if
it.
it's
It's
like
basically
Rage
the
1,
sequel that no one
look
wanted.
look at the hype that has already been put behind it, and people losing their minds about
Yeah,
seeing
but
the trailer and stuff.
we've had it before. We've had games that are hyped up so
is not our
much that
first
are
hype for
amazing,
it.
and then they just go down the shitter. We've seen it before loads of times.
Can I just add before you got to the whole WK thing? Can I just say that Pete Hines was a great host. The guy.
Pete Hines he's a really good host. I mean, he's easy to listen to. He doesn't overcomplicate things. He makes you excited for games.
That whole thing where he was talking about Range 2, like the first game we're going to talk about was actually revealed earlier this week by Walmart of all places.
Yeah, that
when-
was funny.
When they basically ripped the shit out of Walmart for basically not keeping secrets. That was awesome.
Walmart are pretty terrible at keeping secrets. But then so are Microsoft, so they can't say fucking shit either. So there we are.
Yeah.
So, I've got here next Elder Scrolls Legends. I
Yeah,
can't remember what
it's essentially an in-depth
It's a
card
relaunch.
game that goes into the Elder
Oh,
Scrolls
right,
series.
right,
So
okay.
It was out years ago. They're just basically bringing it back for this generation of people who want to play card games, basically.
but there's not a lot of those at the moment.
Then there
but
was
it is due out this year, so it's all good.
Then there was like a DLC for Elder Scrolls Online called Somerset. No, not
Yep.
the Somerset, another Somerset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Which I
are
don't-
still boasting 11 million players still playing the game. So Elder Scrolls has been a very popular release for Bethesda, and it has continued to grow. I think they said that the last million people that have actually joined the game have been this year alone, since January, and it's like that's a fair whack of people still playing this game and still coming in as new users. So that it's got content that every gamer wants to play, not just people who are experienced in Elder Scrolls. They actually want to experience the world as well as new players.
Yeah, but a lot of these
That's
new
really
players want to come in and play the new content, and they can't
Yeah.
until they do certain parts of the game.
Well, that means they have to play the game, which is
that's,
a shame,
that's the problem.
basically.
And then you got
Next
there-
is a game that you should be hyped for.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is Doom Eternal.
Doom
2.
Eternal.
Yeah, Doom 2 is going to be amazing.
If you've played the first one recently, look
That's
at
all you
this
need to
one. This is going to be amazing.
I let's played it. I went from episode 1 to I think I did it in 8 episodes, and I played Doom straight, and it was like it's such a brain ache of a journey, but it's so damn good at the same time. And the brain ache part is just like you're going from level to level, and you're just killing a ton of everything. And that was the brain ache part, but the actual fun of it was killing everything. It's a very solid first-person game, and I hope, going by the trailer, we're going to be seeing that many enemies because it would be an amazing.
I think
bloodfest.
we're just going to basically get the more of the same, but on a
Yeah.
much more extreme.
violent scale.
Yeah, I reckon the only thing they can do to Doom really is tone it up even more, and that's all
Yeah.
you can do to that kind of game because it's just an all-out punch gore fest. You know, when
Yeah,
you do the big
it's-
strawberry enemies, you rip their friggin' eyes out and stuff. It's just like
It's
Yeah.
basically it's simple and effective.
I completely agree.
That's how you describe Doom. It's simple and effective and works. You can't go anywhere.
So then we had Quake Champions.
You see, I'm quite excited about that because I liked Quake. But if it's only
been a
going to be
long
on
time.
PC and Xbox, well, I don't think it will be just
I
on
think
Xbox.
this was
but-
like a PC only thing,
Yeah.
at least for now.
well, the
anyways.
trial's only on PC at the moment, but yeah. And then you've
Then
got
they announced Prey 2, like new game
Mo-
modes and
Moon
DLC.
Crusher. Well, it's
I will
basically a
say
single player
one thing.
DLC.
I will say one thing about like the two people who presented that whole thing. That whole thing where they had like the whole tag was like not a mimic or whatever.
Yep.
The timing of that was just brilliant. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that was pretty.
I
What I
think-
didn't,
I think
what I
it was.
didn't get was, and there's only one thing I didn't get was the soundtrack. Why did they use "You Spin Me Right Round, Baby, Right Round"? I was like,
Yeah,
what?
you have to question this. Some games companies just think that song might be all right for them.
I was like, it didn't
Now,
work.
the thing about this whole new mode that they're bringing in, though, and the multiplayer aspect, is it's basically Prop Hunt just reimagined.
Yeah. One thing I will say about conferences in general, like a lot of questionable music.
soundtracks.
More on that later.
And then they announced Wolfenstein 2 for the Switch.
I know, right? Oh wait, I've got here.
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Or was that another?
Typhoid was the actual game mode, where it's basically prop hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wolfenstein 2 Switch.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Young Blooding's going to be cooperative as well now, so that's...
Yeah, that's basically like Wolfenstein 1 or Wolfenstein. That's like the Old Blood expansion, so I'm guessing this is going to be like a similar deal.
The downside to this is... The downside to having 2 strong female characters and no men characters is you get all the people. But literally, as soon as it was released, when they put up the Wolfenstein 2 and it had 2 female characters, the fucking chat went ballistic. It was like, oh, we've had enough of all these women, blah blah blah. No more women. No. It was like, fuck's sake, don't play the game.
Yeah, don't like it, don't buy it. Oh, don't worry about the fire on the screen.
It's not an actual proper sequel.
And then we had Bethesda taking the piss out of itself, which was good.
Oh yeah,
which is
I've dubbed this.
so funny.
Todd
Yeah, they had
Howard.
like a few. Before they did have like VR for Prey and VR for Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Todd
Todd Howard, the god of Fallout, he came out and he was talking about, like, you know, they're gonna be releasing this brand new version of Skyrim, because obviously it's been released on mobile and TV.
I dubbed this Skyrim banter.
Skyrim banter was amazing because it was basically Skyrim on Alexa, and
a very special edition.
The TV of like an ice cube machine on the fridge.
The whole way through the presentation, that one section, I was laughing at it. Because,
but not to mention,
it was awesome.
Not to mention it was Keegan Michael Keen, so you know he's funny anyway. But
it was just good. It was nice to see that they have a sense of humour and they were happy to take
it's only because people obviously, I mean, in their forums, it must be like, how many more versions of this game can you actually possibly make? You know?
Yeah, and that's why they made the trailer.
Crypto got Quake last night. It's okay, but he wouldn't pay for it. Apparently, that's what he says.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Now, I'm going to promote Crypto for a bit because he normally on his channel he does cryptocurrency reviews and all the other stuff because he's a crypto trader. He's just started a new game channel called Anger Not Managed, and it's basically him playing games and getting very abusive.
Oh,
and
this is the guy you told me about, and he is very, very angry and upset.
Definitely check out his channel because Anger Not Managed is brand new, but it's just amazing to listen to him just flip out, and it's just entertaining. And that's why I said he needs a gaming channel.
Right. So before we get
Fallout 76,
before we get to Fallout 76, there's the Elder Scrolls Blades, right, which is a mobile game,
Blades,
which looks shit.
Yeah.
Right, but when we get to Fallout 76, I've actually made a point. I've actually got loads of points.
Yes, I will.
So Fallout 76, as we know, it's going to have solo play, multiplayer. Yep. It's a sandbox game. It is always online. It's going to have tactical nuclear missiles that you can launch from bases. You can take your base to any server, but using the camp device they give you, which is a new feature to any sandbox games. There's going to be a beta when you pre-order it.
Which they dubbed Break It Early Test Application, which I thought was
because it's Fallout orientated. It's
and
awesome.
Then there's going to be, unfortunately, a couple of different versions of the game, but the collector's edition looks really nice.
I want
comes
the
with a holographic map.
I want the power armor one because it comes with the famous Fallout T-51 helmet, and it looks amazing. You know, it comes with a voice changer, comes with a headlight. It's fully wearable.
Like you, buddy, I would love to own it, but it's just not going to happen.
I can't afford. I think it's going to come in at like £200.
It's just too much.
I'm not going to be able to afford it. Now the things with Fallout 76 is obviously it's going to be an online multiplayer game, but in an interview after the presentation, Pete Hines went on to say that there's going to be a harassment thing. So when it comes to playing multiplayer, you're not going to be having people track you down and just kill you over and over again just to troll you. There's going to be a way of actually consenting to fights instead of just being preyed upon. Because he was basically saying, a little bit like Borderlands, when he was saying that if there was a death claw in front of you and you think you could take it, you have that fight and then you die, and you go back to your spawn point and go, actually, I probably won't go for it because it might kill me again. Or you can sit there and go, you know what? I was close to killing it. I'll go at it again and see what happens. And you're going to have this choice to be able to fight people or just not fight them. It's purely
that's people, not NPCs. Yeah. NPCs would always fight you.
This is the thing. They want to give you the choice. As an NPC, you can either fight that NPC or you can run away from the NPC. They want that choice when you go up against players as well. So every single player that you're going to come across, you don't know if they're going to be a traitor or bad or anything. So this is why the consent system is actually quite interesting, because it gives you the choice to do things and not just do it, basically.
Apparently, Crypto has just bought Doom.
Hey, enjoy it, mate, because I live streamed it. It was awesome.
It's a brilliant game. It's a brilliant game.
Yeah. So very, very quickly, we'll mention that they talked about their next game called Starfield. They did announce that it was going to be a next-gen game.
Yep.
We don't really know a lot about it, other than it's in space. But then after that, they said, what do we have like after we've done with Starfield? And then they mentioned the Elder Scrolls 6, which will come out in the year 2025 by this point.
Yeah. The problem with the Elder Scrolls 6 and the Star game, right? Starfight or whatever it was called, I can't remember now. Starfield, right? If in the same interview that when he was talking about Fallout 76, they were basically saying Fallout 76 is where all of their time and attention is right at the moment. They want to get this game launched, they want to get it out, and they want to. Starfield is the next game they're going to bring out. Obviously, all the effort at the moment is on Fallout, and then it's going to go over to Starfield. But obviously, a team is still going to be working on Fallout. And then, when Starfield is finally out, that's when they're going to start working on Elder Scrolls, because it's only at the moment it's in like concept art status.
Yeah,
and it's
like, very
very early project. They are literally just like just starting it. So we probably won't even see this. Yeah, we probably won't see it though until about the PS5. So there's not even much point in getting it.
But that's fine, because as we all know that the press release, the developers' consoles are actually out there now. So people are starting to work with the software that they've actually got. So we'll see how that shapes up. And then we've got
Sony's conference.
No,
Devolver. Yeah, I didn't write anything for Devolver because I didn't have to, because it was so memorable.
The masters of trolling.
Devolver started off by saying they were going to have a new Battle Royale game, then the head CEO of the company came out snapping his neck, which was a good start, because we don't want that bullshit.
He should have been already dead from the first conference, but okay.
Yes.
We'll go with it.
So, if you don't know who Devolver Digital are, they are the kings of trolling games companies. These guys will come on stage and rip the shit out of people and not care about the language or how it's.
They're also an indie publisher who are very
eccentric.
They're actually very open for people who want to live stream. You just have to ask them, and they're usually always cool with it if you want to play video games. And they did mention a couple of announcements. Scum Season 2, which is like
it's a sandbox horror survival online, but you're a prisoner.
It's a bit like a battle royale game.
No, it's not. It's a bit like a sandbox survival game. And it's a zombie survival game. I've been looking at it for years, wishing it would come to console, but it's PC exclusive.
Then they announced a game called My Friend Pedro, which looks like the second coming of Hotline Miami.
Which up until last night I was really excited, but because...
And then you realised it was only available for PC and Switch. For now.
Fuckers.
So it looks incredible, and I hope it does come to like PS4 and Xbox One eventually.
Oh, it'd be so good if it did.
And the last game they mentioned was actually a remake of a 2004 game, only released in Japan, despite the fact the game's about the US president who controls a mech, and is trying to take down loads of terrorists.
Metal
Yeah,
Wolf
it was
Chaos
never released in
XP.
America on Xbox. I'm just like, how does that even work?
Yeah. How does that happen? That's the question.
But the game is called Metal Wolf Chaos, and it's like Armored Core meets Deadly Premonition in terms of like voice acting anyway. So
Yeah.
that's all you really need to know. I'm totally into stuff like that. So yeah, I will definitely be buying.
And then they had the announcement of their loot box coin, just to take the piss out of loot boxes and cryptocurrency and all the other stuff they were doing in this one. And the loot box coin is a giant gold coin.
Yeah.
And literally their presentation was, you can buy one of these, it doesn't mean anything, but you can buy it from a website. The price will change every hour on the hour, and no one knows how much it's going to be. Right? To put this into perspective, day of launch it was $150. The other day it was $250. Then it was sold out. Now it's unavailable. And so I'm just waiting. I'm waiting until it's $1, and then I'm going to buy one because I really want one now.
I will just say, if you're watching this and you haven't watched the Devolver Digital press conference, please do.
Do it.
Go and watch it.
Do it.
Also one from last year as well, because it's just like a whole canonized like piece of madness, which is just brilliant.
It's what they always do.
It's what's needed at a very serious gaming convention.
You need a bit of like genuine sort of entertainment.
Well, I just think it's also a good reality check as well, because I mean, it's like they bring it all to the forefront of how stupid we all really are. Because as a community of gamers, we still buy into microtransactions. We still buy into overpriced stuff that we don't need, and we still play crappy games like a battle royale game and go, it's amazing, and then 10 minutes later we go, you know what? Actually, if this is all the game is, it's not that great. You know, we will still buy into that shit.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to sort of skim through like Square Enix press conference, mainly because it sort of highlights games that we've already talked about or we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So, but I'll just quickly go through. They announced Shadow of the Tomb Raider again, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Stormblood, Final Fantasy XIV Online,
which is like a DLC / Monster Hunter crossover. That Life is Strange sort of prequel.
Captain Spirit, Awesome Adventures.
They did announce a few new new announcements anyway. They talked more
Dragon
about
Quest.
Dragon Quest 11, which comes out in sort of early September. It's pretty much.
Oh really? Oh yeah, I've got it down as I have. I've got it down as the 4th of September 2018.
Yeah.
The one I was quite interested in was the last one they showed, which is called The Quiet Man. I will be doing more research into this game, so it looks pretty good. I only had a little bit of footage of it, but to be fair, if it's going by what it looks like, it could be an interesting game.
Yeah. They also mentioned a game called Babylon's Fall, which I knew nothing about at first, but then when it said it's made by Platinum Games, I was like, okay, I'm in. You don't need to say anything else, just Platinum Games, and I'll buy it.
And that's it, yeah.
And then
Platinum are a great company.
again, Just Cause 4 again.
Yes, they talk about Nier Automata, Octopath Traveler, Just Cause 4, and Last Phoenix.
And Kingdom Hearts 3 again.
Yeah. But that was Square Enix. It was very underwhelming, and you shouldn't really bother watching it, to be honest.
And now we've got potentially the best conference, because it has been voted as the best one, but I still have my debate about it. But Ubisoft,
This is Ubisoft.
Yeah, this is Ubisoft.
Right, Ubisoft conference started off completely differently to everybody else. Okay, yes, the announcement was for Just Dance, the new game that they're bringing out, Just Dance 2019.
Just Cause, who's even counting anymore?
To have a really open, vibrant, colourful intro like that. That was fair play. I actually enjoyed the fact that it was all happy.
Yeah, that was they went for it. You know, they didn't go half-assed.
It was good. It was really nice just to see a marching band live performing. It was brilliant, and I enjoyed the fact, even though I'm not going to be buying the game, right? But it was just nice to have a different intro than
different vibe.
Coming soon to a cinema. And it was glorified. It was colourful. It was vibrant. It was loud. It was brilliant to watch. It was excitement for your eyes.
I have to be honest.
Just Dance.
I have to be honest about Ubisoft's press conference. I kind of zoned out during the second half of the show because what they talked about next was what I was really interested in, and that was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is something that's been in the making for a long time now.
A very long time, yeah.
And I'm hoping it still is up to the hype, but it looks like it's going to be a really good game.
The trailer they showed, they actually had both Jade and Paige in the game.
Yeah.
At that point, I was just like, my initial concerns about the first trailer from last year have now been sort of eased a little bit.
Yeah. They needed to be in it.
The revealed trailer. So obviously you play as a space pirate captain. It's down as an action adventure RPG, solo or co-op.
But it has
now.
also, you can play it seamlessly, so people can jump in and out whenever they want to. So it's not a case of having to worry about the loading screen and stuff. You just play it.
And
they also had
the big announcement for it was hitrecord.com. Hit record, sorry.
Yeah.
And basically, what these guys hit record. Basically, these guys create content from users, so you can go onto their website, and they're working with Beyond Good and Evil 2 to be putting your artwork into.
They had Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's from stuff like Inception, Third Rock from the Sun, if you're thinking further back.
And he's the creator of Hit Record.
Yeah. They also have this Space Monkey program as well, which I believe might be the same thing. And they're going to make more announcements about the artwork and music and stuff that people created at Beyond BGE Fest, which is a sort of event they're hosting later on this year.
So the idea of them is to basically take your content that you create, and you can put yourself and your artwork or your noise, even your music that you've created, and try and put these into games, and you'll get credited for it. And so if you want to be part of the Beyond Good and Evil 2, you can actually upload your stuff to hitrecord.com, and then maybe your influence or your creator stuff will be featured in the game as well, which is absolutely amazing for small artists or people who have just started out in the music area and they want to sort of maybe create some ambient sounds. It could be put into this game, which is an amazing opportunity for everybody.
I wish I was more creative.
Quick, got to learn something.
Something I'm an artist.
And then they had their little chat about Rainbow Six Siege with 35 million players,
and it's still growing. It's still growing. Rainbow Six.
It's still growing. It's still an amazing game. Though, that's the thing. And then it's simple, it's effective, and it's got an easy to understand.
Trials Rising.
Yeah,
oh my God.
How very convenient that they had Trials Fusion on PlayStation Plus recently.
Yeah. Did you think that as well?
It's almost if they were
planning it.
Yes.
It wasn't just me that thought that was a bit too convenient. It's like, Sony, please put our game on there.
Trials Rising is obviously the next installment of the Trials franchise. It comes out February 2019, and it's all good. And it basically, the thing I took from it is, they're going to improve it. They've actually brought people from the Trials community in to actually build the game and actually try to sort out the hardness, difficulty, and all the other stuff that comes with it. Multiplayer is still in the game, obviously.
I think there's actually more of an emphasis on the multiplayer this time around, though.
Yeah, there is, because they basically said that when you're doing a level, you won't be riding alone ever. So it'll probably end up with using ghost mode as well, which is quite nice.
The thing is with Trials Fusion when it first came out, a lot of people are aware already. It didn't actually have a multiplayer.
No,
and that really upset a lot of people. It pissed me off too, because I actually really enjoyed Trials on the Xbox 360 as a multiplayer. So when they took that out, I was like, oh, that's a bit silly. And then they obviously put it in later on, but a bit late by then. But
there is a closed beta you can register for now, which is nice. They're letting you. They're obviously going to announce that a little bit later on, when you're actually going to go live. But you can sort of get in on the beta now, which is good.
Now,
it's coming out for all platforms.
Yeah.
And it also showed that a guy who used to just play the game, he made a YouTube channel to explain how to do certain parts in the game and get better at playing the game. and now he's one of the spokesmen for Trials Rising.
Yeah.
That's an amazing thing to do. I mean, to go from being a player to a YouTuber to being part of a major company, it's an amazing achievement. So it does go to show that you can achieve stuff outside by just focusing on one game. So it's all good. I'm done now.
Right, I was just going to say, like, from the next game to like the last game for Ubisoft's press conference, I didn't really have much of an interest, to be honest. So
really? I had quite a lot of interest.
Okay, so the next one they did was Division 2, which is... I'm looking forward to it. After the first one, I personally wasn't a big fan of the first one until almost towards the end of its life, where they've added all the DLC and made it a bit more in depth and made it better.
They're still polishing it now.
Yeah, I know. So with Division 2, there's obviously going to be an open beta which you can register for now. If you go to Ubisoft's website, you can register for the beta. The graphics are amazing. The storyline has been emphasised, and being able to sort of explore the whole land.
The thing is, you can't say the graphics are amazing because you didn't see any gameplay footage.
Okay, the trailer looked
really nice, but like I've said before,
they did show a bit of gameplay footage though.
No, not really. As long as they
little bit towards the end.
As long as they do what they did in the first one, and take everything from the first one and put it into the second one with all the improvements, with all the extra bits they did, and didn't fuck up at the start of the whole launch, then it will be a really good game. And this is the problem. It's like I have labelled it the Destiny effect. The thing is, you make a game and you polish it for months and months and months and months and months, and then you announce your next title, and then you just fuck it over. That's called the Destiny effect. And the problem is, if Division does that again, they'll lose all their player base again, and they'll have to rebuild it over the next couple of years. So what I'm hoping they've done is taken everything from Destiny, learn from their mistakes, not Destiny, sorry, Division 1, learn from their mistakes, and then carry on making a decent game like they should be doing. So, let's hope. And the thing is, you can't judge it by the beta, because we all know the beta from Division 1 was pretty shoddy. It was fucking shit. Yes. People were falling through the floor, no one had any idea what was going on, and it was just like, so everyone abandoned it.
And I was one of those people that years ago reviewed the beta on the old channel, and it was disrespectful to gamers, basically. It was horrible.
Yeah, the Division 2 will also come now with 8-player raids, and all its DLC is going to be free. So that's a good thing. But I still think it's Ubisoft trying to get on the good side again after the whole fiasco of last year of I'm going to call it the microtransaction fiasco. So
but that was EA. That wasn't Ubisoft.
But it affected everybody. It affected them all.
Yeah, but my whole take from this is the reason why games companies are now like giving away all their stuff for free is because gamers have complained enough that we're getting screwed over with pricing on our games. Why aren't we getting some of this stuff for free? And I think because of games like Fortnite Battle Royale and doing all the stuff that they're doing for free and all the other stuff and having a more smarter way of microtransactions, that's now rubbing off on the market, which means we get better stuff for free, which is all good.
And then they announced Donkey Kong
Adventures Mario Rabbids.
Yeah, Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Which
it's
I couldn't be asked for.
a Mario plus Rabbids DLC.
And then a game that I've actually been looking forward to. Yeah, since Paris Convention last year, I've been looking forward to this game. When we saw a little bit of Skull and Bones, it was like, oh, this looks really interesting.
The only problem is, when does it come out?
2019. Yeah. The thing is if you watch some of Boogie's stuff after he was doing the reporting from E3 and stuff, a lot of them he was sitting there going, we don't know when these games are coming out, we just know they're coming out at some point next year or 2020.
The only problem is,
it's frustration.
Games themselves are being delayed and pushed back, and the only problem is they're going to go under the radar. Like, for instance, Days Gone. I'm still buying Days Gone, but it comes out in February. It comes out on February the 19th, which is a really busy month now. It wasn't up until last month. It now is a really busy month. So games like Days Gone may just disappear completely, and it's going to be a real shame.
Did you say February 19th?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, okay. Just keep talking about.
That's fine. So with Skull and Bones, obviously it's coming with it's basically what made Black Flag good, and then they've taken all the good stuff from Black Flag and then put it into a pirate game. The whole thing is it's almost like a raiding game on its own, where you are a pirate, you're going off to try and find some treasure, and if the ship that you're about to attack is too powerful, you can try and get some online help from other people. The downside to this is that obviously those people who are playing online want some of the plunder as well, and they're willing to sink your ship in return.
And you can turn on them as well halfway through a match.
And you can turn on them as well, so you can be a bit of a dick playing this game, and I can feel it will be a little bit of a trolley game. But at the same time, they're probably going to introduce a multiplayer version where you're playing team deathmatch.
I actually thought you were going to say a battle royale then.
Could you imagine a pirate battle royale game on boats? That would be absolutely phenomenal.
Boats dropping out of the sky, you know.
Splash.
I just had a quick look at another game coming out on February 19th, same day as Days Gone, and that's actually Anthem. So,
yeah, guess what I'm buying?
Yeah.
I might save some of my Christmas money.
That's due out in 2000. That's due out in 2019. The customization of the ships looks amazing, though. Chucking on different battle rams on different style of cannons and making your boat look brilliant I don't know. For me, that just looked like a really good, solid pirate game, and we haven't had one of these since Pirates of the Caribbean Port Royale. So
do you know what? Pirates of the Caribbean Port Royale was a hard game to get into. But once you got into it, it was actually pretty good.
Exactly, and
that's
what I'm actually hoping from Skull and Bones. Just
it's not
because
be like
for
that,
me,
though.
It's a pirate game. I might actually be happy playing it. I'll be fine. Next on the list was Spectre Vision of Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood.
No.
Transference.
Yeah,
see,
Transference.
Spectre, whatever you called it, is basically in coherence with Transference, which is Elijah Wood's company. And it is actually looking like a good, scary game, but we'll see. I mean, we don't know enough about it really to really say much about it. As I said. Yeah. And then you got Starlink.
Starlink. Battle for Atlas. The Battle of Atlas. Sorry.
I like playing my toys. I do. I can put a little toy.
The only notable thing about this is like the Switch version, like you get to play as Fox McCloud.
Which they presented it straight to Mr. Miyamoto himself.
Yeah. Yeah, had like a whole statue and stuff. Yeah, it was kind of interesting.
And that's due out in October 16th, all platforms apparently.
Right, so then we had the Crew 2.
No, Crew 2 was after For Honor.
Then we had For Honor March in Fire.
Yeah. I wonder why I forgot that one.
And the thing is, you might say that I might rebuy the fucking game because I love my Chinese history, and the fact that about 3 of those characters are people I know, and I'm like, you know what, I may have to rebuy this game.
Right, moving on. The Crew 2. Obviously, it got airtime because it's due out this month anyway. It's going to be a big title. Hopefully, it's a lot better than the first one. Because the first one, I enjoyed the first one for a bit, and then it sort of turned into one of those stories you want to forget the story mode. You just want to play the game. Multiplayer was good. It had a really big a roaming landscape, which was free to roam anywhere you wanted to go, and it was completely fun. It was all right. Hopefully, the Crew 2 being able to be like switching between cars and aeroplanes in seamless technology that they've now brought in. It's going to be a new generation of racing game because it just looks so much more interesting than just driving around the same track every time.
You can pray.
Yeah, I'm praying, but we have pre-ordered the game, and the beta is due out on the 21st.
I'm the same. I've pre-ordered it, but we're going to have to pray and hope it is as good as we think it's going to be. Because let's be honest, like you said, the first one wasn't great, and then they're going to have to get some backlash from this at some point. So
yeah. And the next game looked really, really interesting. Opening cinematics looked good. They're talking about Leonidas and the Greek mythology and all the other stuff.
Don't.
And then it was just another bloody Assassin's Creed game. I've had enough of it. I'm done. Don't want to talk about it. After you guys.
I thought they stopped the whole yearly Assassin's Creed thing.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly.
Maybe once every 2 years. Because I was expecting them to announce like Watch Dogs 3, and then next year announce a new Assassin's Creed. But apparently, Watch Dogs 2 sold that bad that they don't care anymore.
Yeah, they don't care. Oh my god, that phone's gone off. Hold the fort.
Oh no, we've only got one more conference going. It's going to take really short time to get through all this.
Well, no, we've actually got 2.
I didn't watch Nintendo.
The one. Well, I'll tell you. While Ike's on the phone, I'll talk about Nintendo.
Go for it.
Okay, so they started off with a game called Daemon X Machina, which is like Xenoblade Chronicles X, I guess. They also announced a DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. They announced Let's Go like Pikachu and Eevee, which is like a Pokemon Go version of on the Switch, I guess. They do have like a sort of mainline Pokemon title in the works, but that's not going to be until like 2019, if that. Then they announced Super Mario Party, which is basically another Mario Party game, but they've ditched the car from like the last couple of games, so now it's like properly like the board, like the classic ones, the ones that everyone loves, basically.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty cool. Then you had like Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's not a Fire Emblem game, so woohoo. Fortnite on the Switch, which you cannot play if you have a PS4 account, and I think that's fucking stupid, in my opinion anyway. Then they had a couple of indie games, Overcooked 2, which is also coming to the PS4 and Xbox One. That was kind of a surprise hit that people didn't expect much from, but yeah, a lot of people enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
So we had another indie title called Killer Queen Black, Hollow Knight, which was another pretty good one from last year, Octopath Traveler, which comes out in July, I think. It's like a classic sort of JRPG sort of modernization. It's a little bit like 3D Dot Game Heroes, where like they took like the original Zelda formula and sort of modernized it slightly. It's this is kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
Sort of, like, nice sort of updated visuals. Well, sort of like classic sprites, but sort of given that nice sort of modern sheen. Then they had Starlink, which we talked about. Arena of Valor, which I don't remember. Minecraft, for some reason, I don't know why I've put that down. I'm guessing it was like for some additional content, I guess.
Just referencing where it was in the conference.
Yeah, Sushi Striker, which is like a weird sort of game where you have. It's like kind of like Cooking Mama, I guess, but with like a sushi restaurant, and you sort of have to sort of get everything sort of done in a certain amount of time. Where, so Just Dance Again, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, not Fighters, Fighter Z, that's how it's pronounced. Splatoon 2 expansion.
It's alright, I suppose.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, this is one I played on the Wii U, and I absolutely love that game, so I really hope that does well on the Switch.
Yep.
What else we got? Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Which is finally coming to the Switch.
Yeah, it's a good fit for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Ninjala, which I know nothing about. Do you remember this game on the 360? Carcassonne. You know that like.
Carcassonne. Yeah, Carcassonne was awesome. I'm a big fan of Carcassonne. I wish they'd bring it out on the PS4. I spent ages playing that game against people online and my family as well. It's actually a real life tabletop game where you can actually buy packs and you can actually play against your friends to sort of dominate a landscape, and it's grid form and everything else. So you get a certain amount of cards and you build up your forts and everything else. And then they brought it onto the console, and it just works as a sort of like it's almost like a puzzle game at the same time, but it is a really good tabletop game.
Alright, so while Alex is getting ready, I'll just sort of finish off here. FIFA 19.
Can I make one? Can I say something?
Go on then.
Dead or Alive 6 has been announced. Woo! We are Team Ninja. We're never making a game again, but guess what? We will in 7 years' time.
Another one. Right, so I'm just going for all the Nintendo stuff, so we can just like focus on the Sony stuff last.
Yeah, I heard you mention that blasphemous FIFA game again.
I just skimmed it. So they also announced Paladins on the Switch, Fallout Shelter,
Which I'm
Souls
playing right now, by the
Remastered.
way, if you're not watching already.
Yeah. Dark Souls Remastered, which is basically going to be like the PS3 360 version, but hey, it's on the go. That you can't really argue with that. Then
Can we start
SNK
shouting randomly on the bus to people?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see the pictures where like this Switch is literally broken in half because someone's like rage quit at Dark Souls.
Yeah, fucking don't. Oh, sorry, I'm playing Dark Souls.
So they also announced SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, which is basically like the SNK like female characters in a fighting game. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Wolfenstein 2, which we've already mentioned.
Yep.
The World's End Review Final Mix, which is basically a Switch version of like a Switch port of the Nintendo DS game, which was really good. Some of the best music I've heard in like a JRPG anyway. And yeah, that's one if you're a Switch owner I would definitely take a look at. Mega Man 11, which should be good.
Also,
Tennessee's.
there was also footage of The Walking Dead, Overkill's Walking Dead, and a couple other ones that are in that list that I can't remember.
Alright, so then they announced Mario Tennis Aces, which is coming out very soon. And then they finished off for a good, I want to say like 20-25 minutes, talking about Smash Bros.
Yeah, wow.
And basically, it's called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And it has every single Smash Bros. Character from the very first game to like the most recent one. So like every single character.
That's a lot of characters.
I know, it was like absolutely massive roster.
You're going to be sitting there for ages going, I don't know who to play as. I mean, I've got so much choice now.
Yeah. But what they did is they've also sort of tweaked the gameplay of each character a bit. So it's not like... It does feel at least like a new Smash Bros. Game, even though like it has like all the old characters and stuff.
Yeah.
And the final thing they announced was one new character, which was Ridley from like the Metroid games.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, that was pretty much Nintendo's press conference, or Direct as they call them now.
Nintendo Direct.
So now,
the last but not so much least, the Sony conference, which I'm going to be honest, apart the
was
first
a bit
sort
disjointed.
it was very disjointed because they had to change set after the first promo. So first off, basically you had a person talking about this is the Sony conference. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. Yeah. And then they brought out this bloke.
We're not on the set of Kingsman, honest.
Yeah. And then they brought out a musician called Gustavo Satovia, who was a banjo player.
He basically worked on the Last of Us music.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was some relevance.
So they brought him out so he could play a banjo solo for a couple of minutes, and then we saw Last of Us 2.
Why can't I, Joe? Damn it!
God damn it! Where's Deliverance theme tune? So yeah, Last of Us 2. We saw a lot of Ellie because obviously she's now the main character.
Ellie getting her kink on as well, you know.
She's getting her kink on because Ellie is basically the butch side of the lesbian side of everything. Now, the thing that a lot of people were pissing and moaning about is like someone put a Photoshop out up on Twitter and said it's not Ellie, it's this, and this. Actually, well, no, it's actually Ellie because she's known as Ellie in the game. Did you not fucking listen to it? So yeah, Ellie is flirting.
I'm actually surprised about like a lot of people's anger with like the whole lesbian thing, even though
you would have thought they were supportive.
The Left Behind DLC, it was already mentioned, like it was already brought up.
Basically,
so, like,
it was basically hinted that she was a lesbian, essentially.
So,
and at the end of the day,
but this is what the feminists should be supporting.
I mean, as long as it's a great game, I don't care.
Their characters in the game is not bloody real.
They've made the fluidity of the controls a lot more sort of movable now. It doesn't look so clunky. Because obviously with like Last of Us 1, if you were trying to be a bit stealthy, occasionally you get caught up on scenery or you'd be changing direction here and there. They've sort of, by the looks of it, looks a lot more fluid.
One thing I really like is the whole dodge mechanic. If that's going to be in the trailer.
No, I lost the man.
Fantastic. Yeah, it did look really, really good, and I mean, going from like melee combat to weaponry really quickly, they're able to sheath stuff really quick. It's a welcome change. The graphics look really good. I mean, like stunning.
I personally think I kind of know that is like a that the gameplay that you see will be close to it, but I think that's going to be what we saw was basically for just the.
It's on.
Because they did something similar with
PC
the
footage.
Yeah, they did something similar with the first Last of Us game.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if it was like, because obviously they made Uncharted 4 a few years back, which looked incredible as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was close to what we saw.
Well, you're basically seeing a PC version of the game that's overclocked. Graphics are up as highest setting as they can get, just to make it look shiny and pretty, basically.
Yeah.
You never expect what you see at E3 to be on a console ever, because unless they're actually doing an actual console video straight off the console onto the TV, then you always expect it to be a little bit worse than what it is on the big screen. Because you're not going to get that style on the PS3 at the moment, PS4 at the moment.
I mean, it's just not capable of doing it. Simple as that, really.
No.
And then you got Ghost of Tsushima came out.
And then
Hold on, you're missing a couple of bits here, Ants.
Then they said we'll be right back.
Yeah, which took a really long time.
Straight back, when they went straight back to like what would usually be like the pre or post E3 conference stuff.
And then we saw
Black Ops.
The Black Ops 3 extra maps are adding in, which was filmed and sort of done very similar to an old music video by Korn. If you've ever seen what is it, Freak on a Leash? The bullet going through different scenes and stuff was identical to Black Ops 3's trailer for their new DLC maps. I was just sitting there all the way through it. I was saying, something takes a part of me, because it was the exact same thing happening on that than it was in the music video. It was ridiculous. Then they showed off Tetris Effect, Days Gone, Twin Mirror, and Ghost Giant, which is a VR game.
I didn't get it.
And then Beat Saber, which is basically like Guitar Hero
Beat Saber.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I've actually seen a video of some.
They've been advertising that for quite a while now. Actually, I've seen videos from like months ago.
Yeah, it's basically Jedi training. It's awesome.
Essentially, you're just dancing to a song with your sticks.
Your lightsabers. Yeah.
And then finally Destiny 2 DLC. No one cares.
September 4th, that's coming out, if anybody actually does bother.
And now we're back to where you...
Ghost of Tsushima!
Yes.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima. It reminds me of...
That looked impressive.
If I had to gauge it in terms of what I compare it to, I compare it to Witcher 3 meets The Way of the Samurai.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
That's what I would say.
I mean, the animations of when he was riding his horse across the plains, it looked so much like The Witcher 3.
Yeah, but
then the combat is just completely different.
The combat's amazing. I just love the single hit kills, because I used to play a lot of Way of Samurai. I even bought like the third one before they sort of went on to like only Japanese platforms, and the amount of times you try to get a single hit kills is ridiculous, but it looks so good when you do stuff like that. And I think this is going to be one of them games that I'm going to really, really enjoy. And I know for a fact that my little brother will enjoy it, because he loves the feudal Japan sort of era. So yeah. And then they did Dreams, didn't they? They did a bit for Dreams.
No, there's a game called Control.
They didn't really reference it. I know, like the sort of like ad breaks between each announcement look like footage of Dreams, but brought it up.
But there was actually no major announcement for Dreams, which it makes me think it's going to be shown more at Gamescom or another Paris convention.
Probably.
The next game we talked about was Control. Yeah, that looks really, really interesting.
Obscure.
It's from like Remedy, who obviously made Max Payne, Alan Wake, and recently Quantum Break for the Xbox One. And from what I saw, like the footage looks very similar to like the latter title. with the whole like physics of the game.
My whole notes for this were modern take on being a Jedi. Being able to throw things around with the Force and stuff like that. I was just like, so I'm a Jedi with a gun. I'm all good with this.
I was actually, it's funny, I actually compared it more to like PsyOps.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if it's anything like a modern day PsyOps, I'm so in.
Because PsyOps, the only thing this doesn't do, that PsyOps did, was that you could literally float on like a pallet. And this doesn't let you do that, but that's just a shame. It's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. But you know, it looks interesting.
This then we had Resident Evil,
the remake,
the HD remake number 2. Oh my god!
So what do you think now, Sanj? What do you think now?
That looks awesome.
Because I remember you were saying you weren't too sure, because obviously it's now like third person, and you're excited, but you're a bit hesitant.
I'm in a similar situation with Cyberpunk, with like the first person stuff.
Yeah.
I'm worried, like from what the gameplay footage I've seen, like over the shoulder camera, that it's going to feel less like Resident Evil 2 and more like Resident Evil Revelations, for example. It has like a very similar look to it. But I could be wrong. It could be another amazing remake like the first Resident Evil.
It could be.
Yeah.
But just like that over-the-shoulder camera sort of concerns me slightly, that they've sort of gone a little bit off on what they initially promised to do.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, it has got a release date. It is January 25th, 2019. So they are actually guaranteed it comes out then.
I still personally think that they could have done what they did with the first remake and just make it like the original was, but obviously with improved graphics and controls and stuff.
Yeah.
But we will see.
Right, the next game is something I was actually quite excited about. Because when the developers' names come up, I actually said, I went, oh, really? And the developer are called Squanch Games. Now, for me, as a Rick and Morty fan, the word squanch comes into mind. It's a Rick and Morty thing. And, you know, because there was a cat in there called Squanchy, who squanched everywhere. And it was like, so maybe they took the title from that. And it's called Trevor Saves the Universe.
Yeah.
And basically, it's the voice actors of Rick and Morty, and it's Justin Roiland making a game. And it just looks bizarre. Exactly the same as Rick and Morty.
What creeped the shit out of me when I first saw that
was the character with the face with the faces on his eyes.
He's got eyeballs in his eyeballs.
That's unnatural.
But you got to think. I mean, this is coming from the creators of Rick and Morty, so it's going to be one of those games that's just going to be completely random. I mean, I don't even know what the game's about, but I want it just because of the way it was advertised.
Yeah.
It looked amazing.
It was very peculiar, but looks good.
It looks like one of those games that you're just going to have fun playing. I mean, I don't even care about the storyline as long as it's just enjoyable. You know, it just looks great, basically, by me.
I'm sure
you could tell it was the voice actors from Rick and Morty, because the guy in the bathtub without that sort of gruffy accent actually sounded like Rick. And then obviously when the bloke with the face and the eyeballs came in, it was Morty all over. So it was awesome. So yeah, Justin Roiland, give it up for the gamers as well, which is amazing. And if you didn't know, Rick and Morty has been confirmed for another couple of seasons, and we're all good. So I'm happy.
70 episodes.
70 episodes. It's going to be amazing.
Like, is it Dan Harmon or Justin Roiland who creates?
Justin Roiland. Yeah.
He's going to be like, my hand.
I don't know what to do anymore. I think I've killed everything. And then we had Kingdom Hearts again.
Again. The only thing I will say for those who want to jump into the series, don't start with 3 because you will be so lost.
They're doing a bundle for it though, aren't they?
Well, yeah, get like Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 remix, and then get like 2.8. If not, just play like 1 and 2, and then just like watch the cutscenes for the other games on YouTube to sort of get an idea for what's going on with the story, because otherwise you will be completely lost and not know what the hell's going on.
And then we've got
and then it was Death Stranding.
Yes.
And more gameplay, which is welcome. It was good to see it actually being animated and properly laid out. But
it's funny
I'm
that,
still sitting there asking what the fuck's going
on. About that, Kojima's actually been quoted by saying that Sony were very nervous about showing the trailer because it didn't really reveal anything about what the game was, so they just like a little bit knows that people aren't going to be interested because they don't know what it is. But I think it's kind of like the reverse approach. Yeah,
we haven't known what it is since he started making this. We haven't known what it is, and every time it's like
no one's truly known, have they? Really, let's be honest.
It's the intriguingness of the game.
To be honest,
he knows what's going on.
I don't care. It's a Kojima game.
Yeah,
therefore,
the thing is, I don't think Hideo Kojima himself knows what's going on, really, to be honest. But yeah, like you said, it's a Kojima game, and it should be fucking good. So that's all you know. And then you've got the announcement of Nioh 2, which for me was a big thing.
Neo.
I personally haven't finished the first one as much as I'd like to.
I haven't even played the first one, but I want
You should. It's bloody good. And then you got Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm not bothered.
Nor am I, really.
Yeah, it looks alright.
It looks like Spider-Man.
If it's anything like the Arkham games, then yeah.
No, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like Spider-Man.
Yeah. My problem with it is that I've seen enough Spider-Man games to just go meh.
There's only been one good one for me, and that was number 2, and that was like the one for me that was worth playing.
I'm not bothered.
Yeah, I'm just not.
I mean, it looked good. Don't get me wrong. Graphics looked good. The fluidity of the character, it was amazing to watch. It was over the top. It was basically a huge open comic book of action. But I'm not buying it.
He doesn't kill anybody though.
He doesn't kill anyone. No, because he's Spider-Man. He doesn't kill people.
That's so good.
That's well, Superman doesn't really kill anybody. He just takes him to the police station. That's
there haven't been any good Superman games, so we're not. That doesn't count.
They have.
No.
Remember that Nintendo 64 version?
Don't die.
Yeah, we don't mention that anymore. That's just not happening. And
that's as we're drawing to a close, then, Alex, what are your top 3 you're looking forward to from E3?
Well, one that wasn't mentioned was Red Dead Revolver. It had a new gameplay trailer there.
Redemption 2, you mean?
Redemption 2. Yeah.
Sorry, I like Revolver.
God damn it.
Redemption 2 definitely, and Division's looking good. Last of Us for me is something I'm really looking forward to. So
yeah.
And obviously I've already pre-ordered The Crew regardless, so I'm looking forward to all that kind of stuff. Just ignore the kid burning on the screen for now. You'll see the bit when it loads. The child burning in my waterworks.
Okay, for me it has to be Last of Us Part 2, Cyberpunk, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah.
Provided that Activision don't meddle with it and do like their Activision thing and let Samsung fall.
Their Activision thing where they fuck it up and put a price tag on it somewhere. And what are you looking forward to?
As a Battlefield fan, I'm looking forward to Battlefield 5 or V, as it's all being pronounced. Fallout 76, which I have big plans for Fallout 76 as it grows closer and we actually get to play the game. So keep an eye on my channel for that. And another one is Last of Us 2 because it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah,
the story for number 1 was just awesome, so I'm hoping they just continue the fact that the whole game was just fantastic, and then we can just play it and be happy that it exists, basically.
I agree. So that is this year's E3 roundup, then I guess. Until next year, keep looking at the new exclusives. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel and SkipTN and Hybrid Still. And if anybody does have any more comments or views to put at the end of this, please do. I will try and answer as many as I can. Not that anyone ever does. So we'll see you in the next video, and thank you very much for watching.
Peace out.
Bye.